All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of the R&P cast. My name is Subin. For this episode, we're gonna introduce the guest first, and then we're gonna head straight into our topic. So let's get that started.
So, I'm Nathan. I met Subin like playing basketball. I've known him for the last 5-6 years.
Well, I mean, you already came though, so I guess they already know you.
Yeah, a little bit. Some of y'all.
You're the first returning guest, by the way.
Oh yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate having me back.
My name is Jebby. I know Subin from way back. We go to church together, or grew up together. He's a little younger than me, but we play ball together too. That's basically it.
Yeah, and I'm Sham, and born and raised in Houston. Graduated from U of H, where I had the opportunity to get really close with Jebby and Nathan. And I actually met Subin on the basketball court. So
LA Fitness.
LA Fitness.
Back in the
day. You were kind of cooking that day. But, but I mean, you mentioned it'll be cool to run an episode together. So happy to be here, and let's run it.
All right, so for this episode, we're going to do like a Q&A, right? So we didn't have like too much of a direction, but we're going to get to know the group, right? Kind of like episode 3 and 5. After like 2 questions, we're just going to flow. So we're going to see what the episode takes us, right? So with this episode, I guess we can just jump into it. Yeah. Who got a question? So also, we don't really know the question. We kind of planned it, so we have an idea of what the questions are, right? Yeah. So who wants to start it?
I mean, I could ask one of the questions. So, what's true happiness to y'all? Like,
true happiness. Okay, so this is the only question that we really knew that we were gonna ask, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So who wants to start? You got an answer?
Yeah.
True happiness.
So I think true happiness is a state of your state of well-being, and I think that we all have the opportunity to be happy. We all have the opportunity to be unhappy, but it's all up to us to really grab that emotion. And I noticed that a lot of people find a reason to be unhappy, but how come a lot of people don't do the opposite? Why don't we find reasons to actually be happy, right? I mean, just to give me to throw out a scenario, right? If I were to say 5 years ago, like, hey, if I told myself, hey, I would be happy if I got my dream car, I got my dream house, I got my dream girl, and, I got my dream job, right? I mean, fast forward to 10 years later, if I actually achieved those things, would I truly be happy? And, I mean, to answer my own question, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what happens if I get that dream house and now I'm not close to my family or I'm not close to my friends? Okay. What happens if, I get that, dream girl? What if my dream girl scratches my dream car? Now I'm gonna hate both of them, right? So I mean, it's all about factors, it's all about perception. But I mean,
so you're basically saying it's like worldly things don't give you happiness.
Oh no, I think it's all about like how you perceive it. I mean, we all had the opportunity to wake up this morning in a warm bed. Okay. We had the opportunity to take a shower, and I don't know if y'all did or not. But, we had the opportunity to eat a full meal, jump in a car. Multitask, text y'all on my phone while I'm coming here. Hey, I'm pulling up late. Hey, I mean, we had the opportunity to like meet up as friends. I mean, a lot of people don't even have friends. So I think true happiness is like flipping that, perception. Like, hey, instead of me looking at the glass half empty, let me look at it as glass, half full, because we had the opportunity to do those things. And, I'm glad that, I'm able to be in that top percent. 5 billion people don't have the opportunity to do that stuff. So, I mean, here we are today, and I think we should all be grateful for that opportunity.
Okay, so being grateful, I think, is huge for happiness, making sure,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a lot of, like, you can get happiness, like, intrinsically or extrinsically, like, from the outside or the inside. So it's, like, your mentality, like you were saying, right? Yeah. And then also, if you look at it, like, from the point of view, like, from 10 years ago, right? You have these goals. Like, I want to be in this position. I want to go to this school. I want to have this job, this car, and all that stuff. And then I feel like it never ends, if you think about material things make you happy. Because, like, yeah, okay, I'm in this position now. I have a car. I have all these things. But I feel like now I'm going to want the better car or, like, the next thing. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
it's like a never-ending cycle.
It's like a never-ending cycle. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like if you think material things is what's gonna make you happy, it's like
you'll never get it.
No. Yeah, it's like more like intrinsic, you know, like within yourself, and then just being at peace with what you want, you know, your own goals, your own relationships, like genuine like relationships with your family, your friends, and just like kind of understand that you are blessed, kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that answer.
Yeah.
No, I definitely agree. I think happiness comes from like relationships.
Yeah.
And it's funny how you said like, oh, in 5 years we want this, we want that, but it's like you'll never be satisfied. And it's like, you know how people say like the villager, the farmer in India is like happy waking up.
That's all he knows.
That's all he knows, and he is genuinely happy, and he doesn't have much compared to us. So it's like y'all said, it's like a mental state. You know, you can always be happy or unhappy. You just have to like focus on what you want your life to be or how you want it to be.
I think something that actually makes that harder for people like us, like that grew up in the U.S. with all these like opportunity and blessing, right? Like social media.
Yeah.
Like, people can like I can get on Instagram right now and see all these like famous people, nice ass cars, like crazy things, like,
and you kind of notice what you don't have.
Yeah, like a super nice watch, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want that now, you know. But like honestly, like 10 years ago when we didn't have Instagram and none of that, it was like, I don't know, I was happy just being outside, you know, like playing outside with my friends and stuff like that. But like now, I feel like kids nowadays too have like cell phones way early. They're on social media a lot earlier, so it's like things like that. I feel like comparison's like the thief of joy. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's like a pretty big like exacerbating factor.
Do you think it's harder? So like, you know how like the kids now, they're growing up with these iPads, these phones at such a young age, like PS5 in like 3rd grade. Because we didn't have that, bro.
Yeah, I feel like depression's at like an all-time high.
Damn,
like, you know?
Think about that is such a growing feeling though. Like depression, like so many people are sad.
Yeah.
Like it's like a growing.
It's almost cool to be sad now. Like,
I mean, it's not cool.
People gonna be like, I'm depressed.
But think about it, bro. We have more things now. Like we have more things. We have more opportunity for fun. But I think like that's what's causing that like depression. Now you constantly want it. You constantly want dopamine. Right, you constantly want to, you know, experience new things, and then like we said on social media, if we're on TikTok, bro, or we're like doing something, like you can see like like for me on my For You page, I see like places, right, like Europe or like LA or like Miami, or like I see like what other people are doing, what other cities look like, and it's like, damn, like now I need that. You know, it's kind of like we're all on the same playing field. Like everyone's trying to like get it now.
There's like pros and cons though, right?
Yeah,
because like
a lot of pros and cons.
A lot of that, like you seeing that is also like a motivating factor. You know? Like it makes you want to get better, you know, for yourself. But like
some people like they just let it. It's kind of like they just let them like, I don't know how to explain it, like trash them, kind of like as in like, I don't know, like you see it, but like,
what do you mean?
You're not motivated to do it. Like some people, they don't get that motivation. They just get sad. They don't do anything. You know, so it can be a good and a bad thing. I agree, but
I think my experience from social media is when I see someone post something, it's just the surface, right? I mean, we see the picture, we see that they're having fun. It's almost an illusion. Like, damn, they're really living the best life, and like they're getting all these likes, and I'm like, they must be like really loved. And then, you know, people kind of compare themselves to, you know, what they see. And I think that's a feeling that people can get out of that. And, you know, my experience from seeing people travel, I mean, it actually motivated me to do some of my own. I mean, I'm no worldwide traveler at all, but, you know, I have been to...
You ain't no slouch.
No, I know, you know, so, but one of the best places I've been to was Vietnam, right? And the reason why that resonated with me so much is because they're so content with having so little, you know. And I met this guy in a coffee shop, and, you know, he was just telling me like, hey, welcome. He knew I was a tourist. He told me that he was making $1 an hour, you know. So
that's crazy.
And I was, you know, just so shocked to see the difference. I mean, he was still doing his job. I mean, he would work there 3 hours and not be able to even buy himself his own coffee, right? So him being really content with the things that he has, I mean, it shows that happiness really is bigger than, you know, the material tangible things that we have, right?
And I think, like, for example, like that person, you know, let's say you said, they're happy, right? But it's also because they don't know like what's out there. Like, let's say like, they went to the U.S., right? They experienced this lifestyle. They would see, you know, what's kind of out there. That's why a lot of, you know, foreign countries, all of them are kind of like, you know, they're happy, but like they're content in that, you know. That's why, like, for example, let's say we live in the United States, right? If we had to like move to another country, we can kind of see like that lifestyle, and it wouldn't be like, we wouldn't be happy because we know what's out there, rather than someone if you switch
I don't know
it.
if that's really true.
That's what I
I
think.
feel
Because
there's
it's like
beauty in that though.
No,
You know,
no,
like the fact that it's so simple. You know, like people like I don't know, like I haven't been to like Italy or Spain or anything like that, but like their lives I feel like are just so simple. You know?
but they're content in that. Like
they walk everywhere. You know what I mean? Like there's like blue zones and stuff too, right? Like their lifespans are like a lot longer than ours and like most of the places in the U.S. Like there's only like one place in the U.S. is a blue zone, like Loma Linda or like something like that in Cali. But it's like because they walk everywhere, everything's natural. Like they have like more like of active lifestyle and like they're just better. I don't know in that aspect. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the simplicity is honestly like better. Like having all these outside factors that can stress you out. You know, and like,
so you would want to get out of this lifestyle. That's
I don't know about y'all, but I've thought about even like
really?
What's stopping me from the only thing that's stopping me from like moving somewhere else is like my parents, my brother, my nieces, nephews, my sister, and like all my family that's here, right? And like all my close friends too, you know? Yeah. But like I would be lying if I said I've never thought about like just moving to another country and just like
starting over.
Yeah, like I think it'd be sick, you know? Like
I feel like that's scary though.
It is,
like
sure.
you know, you lose all your you don't lose all your friends, but starting over like
I don't know about actually doing that.
Yeah. No, that's supposed to
I don't know if that's what's gonna bring you like happiness though. I feel like happiness is like a mindset. And honestly, but like what you said about like natural and all that eating like clean foods that's not like super processed chemically, not like 10-inch grapes that like GMO.
Yeah, all that
sure does play a factor in like your chemicals.
Yeah.
No, so I think we know the things that we need to do to actually consider ourselves like happy.
Yeah.
But I mean, we are all like, you know, victims of living like a habitual lifestyle, right? So we have our daily habits. We each all probably scroll every morning, you know, on our phones. We have some things that we do that are not the most healthiest, you know, for ourselves, or, you know, sometimes we do things that doesn't really, you know, help us grow. So I think, you know, being able to like flip that switch and actually, you know, target those things that, you know, are good for us, you know, whatever it is for, you know, we all have our own goals, right?
So I have a question. So, like, would y'all say y'all are happy right now? Or, like, from the way I'm hearing it, it feels like everyone kind of feels like they're unhappy.
But I'll say this. So I think that's the point of life. Like, you kind of figure yourself out, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, like, I'm 22. Like, y'all are older. So you kind of like, you guys kind of already like, figured it out. I mean, yeah. But like for me, like I'm kind of in a state where like I'm still figuring myself out first. You know, what truly does make me happy, you know, and it comes with trial and error, right? It comes with exploring, you know, going to different places, you know, doing things that you like, you know, like I feel like it's kind of something that, you know, I feel like you got to figure out.
I think, you know, like, I think we all were at that stage where we're like told ourselves that we're still figuring it out. But to be honest, I'm 28 years old and I'm still, you know, you can bleep that out, but you know, I'm still like, you know, I'm still figuring it out, you know, and I think that everyone on this course of life, I mean, I don't think anyone just has that answer or like has figured it out. I think it's a evolving step that we all need to take and mature in the process, and I mean, we just got to trust it.
Don't y'all also kind of think that within our culture, right? We're all brown, you know, so it's like I feel like we grow up in this culture that we have like a specific like timeline that we have to follow. You know what I mean?
think that's really stupid.
Like right after high school, you have to go to college. Right after college, either you start your career, you go to like med school, be a lawyer, be an engineer, whatever you want to do, right? And then next step is get married, right? And then have kids, and then like then what? Then this cycle repeats. Like then you kind of split that back out to your kids. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's also something that could be broken in the whole like the bubble that we live in.
I feel like it kind of gives you like structure, and if you want to stray, you can stray. Like, I don't think that like.
I agree, but it's like I feel
negative.
Like everybody, it's not. I don't think it's like a negative thing, but it's like
not everybody fits.
Not everybody fits that mold.
No,
you know what I mean? And like when you don't fit that mold, people are like,
you judge you for
doing?
it.
Yeah, like you know what I mean?
But go ahead.
No, there's a lot of other people out here that just like do completely different things outside of our culture. You know what I mean?
But I feel like they're still like appreciated though. You know, like auntie's gonna be like. You're not married? I know a cousin in India. I'd be like, no, auntie, I'm good. Like,
I also think it's a different time. Like, it's 2025 now. Like, I feel like, you know, our parents are like, even like, not even just for brown people, just any race, they have like a traditional way of living to where it's kind of outdated, right? So like now it's like, you know, because we're introduced to so many new things, for example, new social media, we meet different types of people. We kind of see other cultures. Like now everyone's trying to figure themselves out because we're more complicated in the first place. You know, we're not as simple as them, right? And we kind of growing up in America, we end up being different people, right? So I think you got to take that into consideration of like, okay, like some people, because they're so different and everyone has different things going on in their life and everyone's story is different, like not everyone's going to follow that like timeline. It makes no sense to, you know, put that timeline on everybody because that makes no sense. And there's people that didn't feel that timeline and they did something amazing with their life. They did something insane. You know, so
I don't think it's a wrong thing, you know, but I also think
I don't think it's a right thing though.
Yeah, you know? That's true. But like, I think also just being like first generation, I think all of our parents were like born in other countries, you know what I mean? For the most part. And I think that like it starts with us, right? But like I feel like when we have kids, we're not gonna be like teaching them like the same exact or like being as hard on this whole cycle, like you have to do this, this, and this, you know?
Yeah. Right. But you still
gotta
be
a little more. Yeah, you gotta give them the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But it's also I feel like the way to like it's like a village like makes a person, you know, like all these relationships that we have, like who knows if I would be where I'm at if I didn't have Nathan, you, or like you in my life, you know what I mean? Like all these influences, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it all plays a role in.
And I think a lot of times, like, we can't control where we go sometimes. Like, in life, like, we can't control the experiences, the people we meet. You know, like, there are people that I met that, like, you know, I was on this path in life, but someone came down and was so powerful and shifted it. You know, and I didn't ask for it. You know, it just happened. And maybe it came with, like, it could be a relationship, it could be a friend, but it comes with, you know, different learning lessons, distractions, trauma, to where it's like, if I never had that, then I would be just like everybody else, or I would be, you know, this way, or I could be this way. But I feel like a lot of people don't factor in, like, you can't control, like, God's plan for you. You can't, and that's why it makes no sense to have, like, you know, certain expectations for everyone, you know? So that's my stand on that. I don't think it makes sense, but
I feel like God does have a plan for everybody, but I don't think it's like, I feel like people take that the wrong way sometimes too, and they're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit back and just let God do his thing, you know? But I feel like you gotta put yourself in positions for him to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of like...
And you gotta actually put in an effort.
Yeah, because you can't just be like, oh no, God got me, you know? But you have all these goals and ambitions, you wanna be this type of person, like...
You gotta take those steps.
But you're sitting at home, you know what I mean? You can pray about it all night, but like, I feel like you gotta, I mean... Having faith is huge for sure, but I feel like putting yourself in the right situation is big too, and surrounding yourself with the right people.
No, facts. I mean, on that topic, like societal norms, right? Subin, you're younger than all of us, right? So do you think like by 30, you know, will you have your house together? Do you think you'll have your family together? Do you think it's okay to judge someone, you know, that doesn't in this time, and you know, why?
I mean, for me, like, if I'm 30, right, of course I have, like, ambitions, dreams, a place where I want to be, but it could be something that happens when I'm 26 that throws everything off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to kind of prepare for new mental battles, new, you know, situations, you know, stuff like that. So in order to, you know, answer that, you know, I can control the controllables. You know, that's kind of what I like to say. Like, I can control what I can control, right? For example... If have a goal, right? Have a goal, have ways to reach that goal, do certain things. And then, like I said, you know, if something does happen, you know, you have backup plans, you have certain things like that. But, you know, I feel like if you work hard, you really put God first, you can literally achieve anything you want. If I aim high for when I'm 30 and I want this, I want to be a millionaire, I want this car, and I have the steps to, you know, make that happen, and I have that faith in God and I really want it, I think anything's possible, you know?
Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll hit the stars.
Do y'all, well, I have a question. Do y'all believe in manifestation?
I do.
I do. But I'll tell y'all why. Or who wants to answer first?
I mean, I do, but I feel like it's like it plays a role, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can say something that you want to do and try to get there at some point, something that you want to achieve, but it's like, yeah, like you just kind of put that goal out there, and that you just saying that, like, hopefully that just makes you work in that direction. Or like, I'm not saying all these things that I want to do. Like, I'm not manifesting stuff for myself like that. Like, maybe like mentally I am, like on low key, you know, because like, yeah, like I have goals and things that I want to do, and I'm saying it to myself maybe like every day, you know, like kind of basing what I'm doing for the rest of the day and like the week or like however far along I'm planning. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's all like a mental thing, like just having a goal in my head and running towards it.
I feel like saying it out loud just makes it like
Or like
happen more. I feel like
you talk to yourself.
I talk to myself. Like even before GOC, I was like, "Oh, we gonna win."
Yeah.
You know, I never want to
manifested.
Yeah, we manifested
we
that, bro. Like what?
No, but I feel like if you believe something, and because you know yourself, no one knows Nathan more than Nathan, right?
Yeah.
No one knows Jebby more than Jebby. Like you know what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like for example, if I want to be the GOAT at basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I genuinely believe it, it can happen. Now, do I believe it? No, I'm fucking 5'10".
Yeah.
Be real. But there are things that I believe I can do that I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, believe.
Yeah.
You know, like I know myself, and there's other people that's like, oh, you can't do that or you can't do this, but it's like I know I believe it and I know I can manifest it. That's literally how life works, in my opinion. And from what I've seen, I think it's proven true. So I believe in it, but there's a certain method to it.
Yeah. Even something that I've like, we had like a doctor came and talked to us at the hospital recently about like wellness and stuff like that. And one of the things that he was kind of stressing about was journaling. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like what he was kind of describing, like journaling and stuff like that. Just kind of like getting like your mental thoughts on paper and like your goals or like whatever you want to do for the day, or like just kind of like finding a question that you can kind of answer, like why are you feeling this type of way, you know? I feel like that can play like a huge role in like this whole manifestation and like getting to like, I don't know, getting control of your mental health and like your emotions and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's something
I think it's good to put things out on paper in your mental note. Sometimes speaking out loud before the action actually happens. Some people say like, hey, you can get bad-eyed or whatever the case may be. So I think always have something, you want to accomplish internally and live by it. I mean, we know, like, if we all wanted to get in the perfect shape, for example, I mean, we can't be eating, junk food every night, right? We have to be taking the correct steps to, we know we have to exercise. We know we have to cut out some sugars, right? We need to do the right things. So I think, having a plan is really good for us, and it's always good for our mental health. But, being able to, be truly honest to yourself and take those steps, I think that's what really goes a long way.
You remember in undergrad when we worked out at U of H and Sham had us do that bicep workout?
Bro, oh my God.
The resistance training.
The resistance.
Hey, you need to partner.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I was not mentally, like, I did not think I was gonna get that in, but I feel like, like, once you like feel like you tell yourself you're gonna do it, like I did not think I was gonna get all those reps in that you wanted us to do at that time, and I was just like, all right, we doing this. I
was like, I just want to like disappoint this swole ass mom. Nah, I can do it.
No, but I feel like mentality is huge, bro. I think mentality is everything. Like, you gotta, like, if you want something, you got that mentality, like, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna prove everyone wrong. Like, that shit can get you, like, so far.
Kind of bouncing back to what we were talking about earlier, though, but on top of mentality, I feel like the people you're around and you surround yourself with makes the biggest difference, bro.
100%.
Like, I have like a vivid memory of when my dad like dropped me off in my 9th grade high school, and like what he told me, like he like stopped for a second, and he like told me, he was like, listen, like whatever you do, like, because when you go to like a public school in high school, you have so many people around you, you know what I mean? You can be friends with anybody. Like whatever relationship I made could have made me turn in any direction, you know? So I feel like what he told me was just like whoever, like, make sure at the end of the day, whoever you're hanging out with is like, they're good people. They're genuine people. Exactly. And they have the right intentions, you know what I mean? Because if they don't, next thing you know, you could be into doing some crazy drugs. You could be, you wouldn't be where you are today if you didn't have like the people you had, you know what
So
I mean?
I have a question, right? Do you think you can control who you click with? Like, yeah, it's good to have that mindset of like, okay, like, I'm looking for these type of people. But let's say you have a certain type of sense of humor, right? You're naturally going to be drawn to people with that same type of sense of humor, right? But then let's say...
It doesn't have to be the same, though.
It was just an example. But like, do you think sometimes you can't really control who really attracts you the most energy-wise? And then that's why sometimes like some people take a wrong path or they hang out with wrong people.
I mean, for us, I feel like all of us have like a common connection of like basketball, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I grew up playing basketball. My brother taught me how to play. I just kind of naturally started playing. The next thing you know, I meet all you guys and we started playing, and like, I don't know, that's how we met. And but it's like there's other like factors too, right? Like who he met influenced him so much, and then he became who he was, and then I met him, and it's kind of like it spreads, you know what I mean?
And honestly, all four of us have like different humors, but I feel like as long as there's like other things that bring you together, I feel like as long as like as a whole, it's like a good person, good energy. I don't think anyone's like, oh, like, man, I'm a really good person, but I only connect with really bad people. Like, I don't think that's like a typical
but I feel
thing.
I feel like it's not as black and white as that. Like, you know,
It's
there's
not,
so many things.
so many variables.
Like you can be drawn to a person that may make a lot of mistakes, but you know, you all do have the same sense of humor. Or you like, let's say you love football, right? Or let's say like you love drinking, right? It can be like party friends. You know, we all have different types of friends. So you know, that's where. Like for me, like with all my friends, I have a lot of variety when it comes to that. But I notice some people may not be as mature as me, right? I notice some people may not, you know, be completely good people at times. But I always try to like understand them, like what is making you like think like that, or like are you truly a bad person, you know? So I think it all depends, really. It's not, but it's not as black and white as you know. We're making the same, but
I think the commonality of our friendship is there because we've all connected. You know, we all have something in common where we play basketball, right? Yeah. And
that's like the first
that's like the first common denominator.
And then we
right?
go deeper, yeah.
And I think, you know, then, you know, hanging out with you guys off the court too, I mean, I noticed like really good values in you guys. And I mean, you know, for me, you know, and me being my age, like I should be able to know, pick and choose like who I want to spend my time, give my energy to and be around with. Because I mean, I think we've all heard the saying, like, you know, show me your friends and then I'll show you who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very true. So I think, like, we all resonated with each other. And, you know, I've known you guys for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I think we naturally just draw together. You know, we balance each other out. And, you know, you can kind of feel that good energy when you talk to someone. And, like, that's something that I felt. So,
so I got a good question for that then. I guess, like, what traits do you look for in, like, a friend? Like, if you meet somebody... Like, what are you actually like, looking for to be like somebody that you want to bring into your life?
I think for me, number one, like I want to see how understanding that person is.
Yeah.
You know, how much life have you really lived? Because there's some friends I have that, you know, they haven't lived that much life. So like when someone does something wrong or when someone does something out of the ordinary, like they don't try to understand them. You know, like I said, they just judge them, which is something I hate. You know, so for me, that is huge. I don't know if y'all got another trait.
I would say like the vibes, like how, like what you're talking about, how you connect, like
energy.
Do y'all have good like banter, like you know, just like messing around? Like, can you take a joke? Because sometimes I'd be saying some out of pocket stuff, like. So
like if someone's too sensitive, then
it might not work out because they'll get offended, and then I'll get like competitive back. I'll probably like double down, like. And then I was probably not a good recipe, you know.
So what do you think?
No, I think. You know, I think respect. I mean, when it comes down to knowing, I mean, people, I think, you know, having that common respect is huge. I mean, you know, mutual, we all have like mutual friends. I mean, if I know a friend that knows you guys, I'm sure that your friend, you know, I trust that your friend is a good friend too. So I think, you know, us having that mutual respect and, you know, we're pretty loyal to each other in the fact that, hey, like, I mean, I would, you know, reach out, you know, I would go out of my way. And I noticed that you guys have, you know, in the 10 years that we've known each other, 10 plus years, you guys have went out of your way, you know, multiple times to do things for me, you know, and that's something that I've noticed. So really just like kind of keeping, you know, reciprocating that vibe back, you know, it kind of goes a long way. You know, it's not ever a one-ended street. So I think, you know, it comes down to all of us.
Friendships a lot is like you get what you give too. Like if you're good to them, they'll usually be good to you.
Yeah.
I think also just like somebody that can keep you motivated.
Yeah, that's huge. That's good.
Like, I don't know. I feel like there's certain friends that I was like initially like cool with them for a while, but then you see where they're at and they're not helping you, and you can only do so much for them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know what?
So it's like, like having people that motivate you. You know what I mean? I feel like we all did that with each other. You know what I mean? In a way that you probably don't even like recognize.
And you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the crab in a bucket methodology, right? Like say that everyone in life. We're all crabs, right? Yeah. We're all in a bucket, right? Yeah. And no pun intended, if I'm a crab in the bucket and I want to reach out of my shell and I want to get to the top, you know, I want to step out of my comfort zone. There's going to be another crab who may be jealous of me. You know, they may be more competitive of me. They're going to try to pull me down out the bucket because they don't want me to, you know, really achieve or succeed, right? So I think, you know, we are in a bucket of, you know, of people, and it's all onto us. And I think, you know, there's bucket fillers and there's bucket dippers, right? So I think, you know, imagine everywhere you go, if you have a bucket, like Nathan, Jebby, Subin, how can you guys fill my bucket when I go home? Am I going to be feeling more full or am I going to be feeling more empty? You know, I don't want to really give my energy to those people that are going to, you know, bucket dip me. They're going to take things out of my bucket and, you know, make me feel like I'm empty when I leave. And, you know, I think that's something that we should, you know, kind of watch out for, you know, in the future of, you know, making relationships, networking with other people.
No, that is huge, bro. People that uplift you is like insanely important, you know, because there's always going to be people that, you know, are jealous or have envy in them or like they don't want to see you succeed. And, you know, I had my fair share of like, I can kind of understand how certain people feel. And one thing about y'all, you know, like y'all help me a lot, you know, of course. You guys motivate me as well. You know, I don't sense, you know, none of those eerie feelings, right? You gotta cherish that. You know, people that truly love you and want the best for you and they don't care like where anybody ends up, but as long as everyone's trying and doing their best, you know. I think that's huge for me, but
yeah, I think motivating each other is a healthy way of like growing too.
Who had that? That was you. That was you that said that. The motivation. Hey, good shit, dog.
And something I learned from you, Subin. Last time we hung out, you said like, if someone's doing something right, like why don't you just compliment them or let them know? And that actually cut deep with me.
For sure.
You know, and like, you know, and like. You know, learning like dropping little gems like that. I mean, this is just one example of something that I just grabbed from you too. I mean, that kind of really goes on a long way. And I actually shared that with some of my other closer friends too. So, I mean, I appreciate that.
I feel like, because everyone has this ego of like, I don't want to make someone feel good. And that's how you know, like, they're not completely secure in themselves. Like, bro, there's times I gave Jebby a compliment, but people are like, oh, you glazing. Like, you know, no, it's like, bro, like, you know, if you see something, if someone hits a tough shot, you know, you're like,
that's tough.
Good shot. It's tough. It's
give
like,
them the flowers.
I try my best to give as much flowers as possible, you know, but a lot of people
you're
like
sweetheart.
but think about it. Someone that you know never gives flowers, what does that say about them? You know, someone that doesn't want to give a compliment because it feels like you're giving that person
they're
power.
just like raised in like a way where they're like, oh, like I'm too tough to like, you know, I can't let you know. But you're right. It does stem from like
even
insecurity.
if like, let's say we're hooping, let's say someone's sorry. If they make a layup,
like,
make them feel tough, you know? Obviously, you can still talk your shit too.
Wait till after the podcast.
Oh, I got a question for y'all, right?
What's up?
What role do y'all think alcohol plays in a friendship? And do y'all think it can be like a good thing, a bad thing?
I think it could be both. I feel like, honestly, college, I like made a lot of good friends throughout, not like good and bad friends. But it's like, you know, it could be a good place to like start, but if that's like all your friendship is, it's definitely not good. It's not gonna either y'all gonna stop being friends or you're gonna be an alcoholic or like, you know, it's just gonna be negative. So I feel like everything in moderation is pretty good, honestly, as long as your relationship isn't centered around alcohol.
Do you think alcohol can help friendships though? Because from my experience, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate a little bit, right? So there's been times where I've been friends with a group of people, and you know when you first meet someone, people are kind of closed off. You know, they're kind of scared to be themselves. I'm pretty sure we all experience like we're drinking, we're out somewhere, now everyone just yapping, everyone's talking, and it's actually good. You know, people start sharing, you know, stuff they've been through. People start actually connecting with you. There's times where I haven't really talked to someone in a while. And, you know, I see them at a party, we drink, and it's like, damn, like, I missed you, like, for real. You know, like, that ass. Like, not some gay shit. But it's like,
no, I didn't mean it like that. But it's like, the for real made it feel not for real. Like,
but it's like,
Steven's a happy drunk.
No, I love, like, my love level goes up, for sure. But then I can also see, like, other negative factors come out. You know, sometimes you see ego come out, right? Sometimes you see, you know, these other certain toxic traits, so.
Like anger.
So
yeah, I think no, alcohol, there's a good and a bad, right? And that bad is a very slippery slope. But like for the good, I would kind of agree with y'all. Like there's like a lot of shy people, like people that are kind of in their own shell, you know. And I feel like having a drink will like loosen you up a little bit to be a little bit more open, you know. But they say like even like before like a big interview, right? Sometimes people are like, oh, I'm gonna take a shot before just to like loosen the nerves and stuff. I've never done that, but like I just feel like that is a common thing that a lot of people do. Or like before a date, you know what I mean? But also, I mean, like from a health standpoint, I feel like, like an undergrad, like we all like partied a little bit, you know, you go to stuff, you drink a lot. But then I feel like, and it's fun, you know what I mean? Like you meet a lot of people, you hang out with a lot of people, you make all these new connections and I don't know, go to a spot with like popping music, like it's a vibe, you know? But like I feel like, I don't know, for me as I got older, like I still kind of continued that a little bit. And then I feel like it took a toll. Like even like now I'm just like, all right, do I really want to drink? Like, is this something I want to do today? Like if people are like, yo, let's kick it on the weekend, like Friday night, Saturday night, you know, on a random weekend, I don't have anything going on. Unless it's like a wedding or something, I feel like nowadays I'm just like, man, I really don't want to.
Damn,
you know,
you hitting unk status.
No, but it's just like, but it's like the next day now. It's just like, I feel like instead of like just that physical hangover of like the headache and just like feeling like tired, I feel like now it's just like a mental thing too. Like I just feel like why am I doing that? You know what I mean? Like mentally, it's like I'm not like depressed or anything. Yeah, like it's like a post-alcohol depression type vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I'm just like, what was the point last night? You know what I mean?
To add on to that, I think your perception has changed, right? Yeah. So I think there's levels to it, right? Yeah. So in college when everyone first turns 21, it's almost cool to drink, right? So we all want to go out. We want to go to the rooftop. Like, hey, we want to drink, have fun. Wake up with no hangover, still make decent grades. We want to challenge ourselves, and we feel like we're cool, right? Yeah. Then after college, there's this next level where it's like, hey, now I'm gonna go out with my boss. I'm gonna go out with my, I got my nice job that I wanted, and now I'm gonna go drink, have a social drink for networking. I'm gonna go network. I'm gonna go meet all these new people, and it's up to you, to take it as far as you want, or kind of control yourself, and you know your limits. But obviously, when anyone drinks, it's kind of hard to see yourself from the outside, right? Yeah. After that, now there's this like post like, okay, well, now I work so hard Monday through Friday. Now I'm going to use alcohol as an escape, or I'm going to use alcohol as a reward. Right? So every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday, now we find an excuse to drink alcohol. It's like there's a UFC fight on tonight on Saturday. There's the finals basketball game. There's one tonight. It makes it a little bit tougher, because we've been introduced to alcohol for such a long time to kind of just now make that decision, and now as we're aging and getting older, we know that alcohol is not the best for our body. It's really up to us, It's like now I'm starting to feel my hangovers when I drink now, and now I'm starting to get a little bit more cloudy, and I'm starting to feel this. So that's helping me depict, is it really good to drink alcohol?
Do I want to do this today?
Yeah. I think also y'all had your fair share because, y'all a lot older, right? So it makes sense, right? Because like my viewpoint is almost like, okay, like, because there's times I still drink, but it's like I genuinely do it for the fun of it. Yeah. It's not like I'm using it as an escape or like I'm doing it all the time. Like sometimes I genuinely, have a drink. I like to socialize, and the feeling is good. That's.
Alcohol is like such a big like component of like the social world now, right? Like even like jobs, like they'll have a happy hour, and it's like not everybody drinks, but like it's just like so like pushed on to everybody.
There's pressure too.
So it's like I don't know. I used to get into the cycle like right after undergrad, like when I didn't have like I took a gap year, and like every weekend I don't have like anything going crazy, you know what I mean? But like I'll be like, yo, like Nathan, what are we doing this weekend? Like let's go out, let's go chill, like Sham, But like. Nowadays, like, man, I feel like over the past like couple of years, I feel like I realized like having a good weekend where I don't do any of that, I go to sleep on time. And just like the next morning, I get up early, I get a workout in. I get so much more done that Saturday and Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I didn't need that. You know what I mean? Or you can still have like a dinner and grab a couple of drinks. It's all about like how much you can kind of like limit it though. But having a weekend like that. It's like crazy. It's crazy how much you can get done. By not like going crazy one night and being hungover the next day. Because I don't know about y'all, but when I'm hungover, I'm like,
it's a wrap.
I'm knocked out, bro. I'm done. I'm in bed all day.
Do y'all feel like y'all have a lot of relationships or friendships that are like centered around alcohol?
Yeah, here and there.
Do you think that's good or bad, or like?
I think it depends. Because like for me, I guess like last 2-3 years, because I'm a little bit, younger than y'all, right?
I swear, that's a lot.
Not that young. He's 22, bro.
No, but so I'll say this, right? So with a lot of my friends, I kind of noticed the dynamic of it, right? Like, okay, can we actually hang out sober, right? That's a big question for me because there's some people where we hang out, and it's really fun if we have a drink, but then it wouldn't be as fun if we're hanging out sober, right? So sometimes. I question, like, is there a true connection, But am I only hitting you up to, like, go to the club, or, like, go to this party or go to this bar? But then I notice the people that I don't really drink with and I hang out with sober are the more people that, I kind of have that real connection with. And let's say I do drink with them, it's just another component of that, So I think it really depends, but I guess that's my, my answer with that. But
I feel like I feel like, yeah, like, especially starting in, like, undergrad or high school, like, whenever you started drinking, right? I feel like you definitely make relationships built off of alcohol. But I feel like as time goes on, those relationships that are built off of alcohol,
You're gonna die.
yeah, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Especially when you, like, kind of come to, if you grow up personally, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if I'm only drinking with this person, and I'm like, all right, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. They're going to fade out of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's probably for the better.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. That's kind of like the whole thing of, like, motivation and stuff, too, right? We were talking about earlier. Like, what are they actually doing for me? Besides helping me get drunk and have fun on a random Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then being hungover the next day.
And it's almost like a convenience thing. Like, you'll see them on campus, you know, at a party, like, hey, it's cool. But after college, you know, when you're on your, you know, on your own journey, have they ever, like, reached out to you, you know, for anything? Not really, you know? So, I mean, a
lot of people fade.
Yeah, you know, so that connection fades, and I think, like, that doesn't really determine, like, a true
friendship. No, I agree with y'all, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all have another question? Y'all want to get into something else? I got something if y'all don't have anything.
Let's hear it, bro.
Oh, hold on. Do y'all have anything?
Let's hear something from the youngin.
Let me look it up. We could change the vibe a little bit. Let me see. I know this is random, but do y'all have any pet peeves? I want to know y'all's pet peeves. Y'all have anything? I have one. We can like go through this fast. But.
I think one for me that just comes off the top of my head is just like being on time.
Bro, that is
You don't like being on time?
No, I love being I'm the type of person to be on time, like 5 to 10 minutes max.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like after that,
people that don't come on time.
it's kind of like because
I'm so sorry.
My bad.
No.
Yeah, backstory: Sean came late twice.
But it also depends though, right? What the situation is. Like like something like this is like like we can kind of flex it up a little bit, or if we're gonna
y'all should come on time. Though.
Yeah. or like if we're going to the gym, you know what I mean? Like 5 to 10 minutes, like however late, like it's cool, you know. It's not like a serious thing. But like when you have like reservations, if you're going to dinner, you have like an actual event, and people are showing up late, or like sometimes places don't even seat you until you have like the whole party there now. You know what I mean? At that point, it gets disrespectful.
Yeah.
What if it's a brown party and they say come at 6? Are you sure that's
different? But we know the vibe with that.
I know. Yeah. But you know, also it's like when you have like if you're throwing like a pregame or like having like a kickback at your place or whatever, right? I feel like one thing that I've noticed is like you want certain people there before like other people. You know what I mean? Like, you want my close friends there first. When my close friends are late, then I'm like, damn.
Entertain them.
Yeah, because like you're inviting some like extra people, right? Like I don't know.
That's valid. I never thought about it like that.
Because it's like, if I'm inviting Nathan, you, and Subin, like I would hope that y'all show up a little earlier or like on time, so then I'm not stuck with like a bunch of like people that I'm cool with, but like you know, just to like kind of break that ice. Like I have more people to like vibe off of.
Probably tell us earlier. Tell them later. But, you know, I'll be up at the same time.
No, for me though, it's like time. Yeah, I feel
one thing with that, also people that flake. That's a pet peeve I have. Like it's okay if you flake once, but if you flake multiple times and it's like a habit, and I can see that it's kind of like turning into a routine. It's kind of like that's something that, bro. I hate people that flake. Like it like bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Do you have one or not?
I feel like people that
Did anybody get canceled?
I feel like people like that are always like they can like give it but they can't take it. I feel that's like I feel like it's kind of like fake. You know, it's like. Like
give out constructive criticism, but they can't take accountability.
Or like I'm talking about like they're like always roasting someone, but it's like when someone roasts them, it's like whoa, it's like a big deal. Like yo, chill.
No, that's
like
funny,
like
That's a good one.
like can be too sensitive.
I think for me, I mean, I haven't really thought about this one, but I mean, just someone not keeping it real. I mean,
that's true.
I think like the extra buffer sometimes. I mean, that is not necessarily the truth. And I mean, not saying that like I can tell if you're lying or telling the truth, but I mean, sometimes like it's not experiencing something so genuine kind of just it doesn't settle well with me sometimes. I think just keep it simple, keep it easy, and it goes a long way.
Sometimes you can definitely tell when somebody's like has a ulterior motive.
Yeah, like they want to like impress you
or
or something, and I'm like, well, I'd be more impressed if you just kept it real.
That's facts.
And they're good at masking that too. Like they're really good at like hiding it. But another question? Y'all got one? Why am I asking a question? Y'all didn't come prepared. Nobody got a question.
Nah.
Well, y'all want to talk about trends or?
Oh, the
Trends?
gorilla one.
Gorilla.
I gotta take.
All right, what's your take?
Wait, so what's the situation?
All right, so
you said situation. Go
So
ahead.
basically, they're arguing. You got 100 people. I think it's like 100 random men, right? 100 random guys.
Is it random?
I think it's random.
My whole argument is it depends on who the 100 people are.
Oh, yeah, are you gonna pick them in?
Yeah.
It's 100 people fighting a gorilla, and I think everyone's bloodlusted. Like you can't like throw in like, oh, like if the gorilla kills somebody, then they'll run away. That makes no sense. Like everyone's like truly out to like fight.
Yeah.
But can the 100 men like strategize? That's my point.
Bro,
like, can we be
y'all
like,
really
okay,
think a
we
gorilla-
all gonna go for the
Bro,
knee.
hold on,
We're
hold
gonna
on.
take the
Y'all really
knee
think a
out,
gorilla
but then we're gonna poke it in the eye so it can't move. You gotta have a
it's like-
strategy. That's the
I
only
think,
way
like,
you can
20
make it happen.
people go in at once, right? See what they can do. They got everybody behind them. I don't think a gorilla is beating 100 people.
Do you think
Nah,
100?
I think 100. I think they are.
Do you think
Unless you're
100 of you could beat a gorilla?
100 Nithans.
I mean, I'm gonna have to take myself. I just need like 3 of me.
3 of you?
Yeah, three is crazy.
Nah,
100 Shams could for sure.
no, for sure. Bro.
Okay, but if we could build a scenario,
Yeah.
I think, like, I mean, of course, 100 men got to be able to outsmart one gorilla.
Yeah, if you
I mean,
could think, I think you can.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
it. Like, if I could put, and if I could choose 2 on top of that, like, I'm putting like 100 people around the gorilla.
No,
We're surrounding him.
Yeah.
I'm getting like Julius
So you're
Randle.
the call out.
Julius Randle to jump on the gorilla's back, right?
Big Baby Davis.
Yeah, and then Draymond Green will come, you know, go kick him in the nuts. You know, Adesanya.
You got throw Shaq in there.
Yeah, Shaq gonna hit him with the elbow to
Oh,
the neck.
so you the dude in the back on the phone.
I'm on the phone making sure Steven Adams is doing his job. Like, I'm not like
Wallace.
I'm be the last one. I'm just trying to like direct what's going on. But
Imagine the gorilla wins and now he's looking for Sean.
No,
Yeah,
what's that one NBA player that fights? He's like a professional fighter.
Isaiah Stu. Oh no,
James Johnson. James
Yeah,
Johnson.
James
Yeah,
Johnson.
Johnson.
Okay, we gotta get him in there.
hey, he's tough. He's tough.
Yeah. I
Udonis
think you can
Haslem.
outsmart a gorilla, but like off sheer force, I don't think you. I think if you're just running at the gorilla got it.
Gorillas are pretty big. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. I googled a gorilla. They weigh up to like 1,000 pounds sometimes. Like,
Damn, bro. I
Yeah,
ain't gonna lie, that's
but
scary.
100
Imagine
men, but 100 men equals 10,000.
Way more than that, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think
no, wait, I'm lying. I think they can lift up to 1,000 pounds. They weigh around like 500 sometimes.
yeah, they're like
Yeah,
10
yeah.
times the
Yeah.
strength of a human, right?
But like, man, if a gorilla, I think the average weight was like 500 something. Somebody can fact check me. But like, if you have a bunch of like bigger dudes, like we're describing,
yeah, it should be a wrap.
yeah, like 200-pound guys, like, man, like, come on,
Like,
now.
it shouldn't
Like,
even be a debate. Like,
I don't know. Maybe we're sleeping on the gorilla though.
no, yeah.
Bro, that's 100. I feel like that's a lot.
Who's gonna take the?
But
bait,
it's like
though?
you versus 100 babies. I feel like I got 100
I don't think
babies.
that's the same though.
100 babies against Subin?
Against Subin. I got
Wait,
Subin.
how
No,
old
but I
are these
don't-
babies though?
Or like 2, bro, 3, whatever.
Well,
babies.
But I feel like that's
I
different.
feel like
100
that's the same
babies.
level. That's the
No,
same
what
like
if it's
size
top-
difference. No.
Nah, because the baby can barely move though. Like that's
Compared
like
to
me hitting
a-
him like this.
I feel like how a baby hits you is like how we hit the
If I
gorilla.
lose
I
to a
think it's
baby-
kebab.
No, I think it's like one of us versus 10-year-olds.
That makes more sense. Like I think that's more
Because a
accurate.
10-year-old could actually run and they have a force that could actually hit you. No baby.
You see what a 10-year-old looks like nowadays?
True.
big as hell, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still don't think that's the same.
I don't think that's the same.
I don't think that's the same.
No?
I think it's like
100
3
humans is too
10-year-olds. And versus you is like 100 men versus 1 gorilla.
3 10-year-olds.
I will still probably put my money on the people, you know what I mean, in a situation.
No,
but I wouldn't be surprised if a gorilla went through 100 people.
I guess
think
this is
so?
debatable, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But like, I would bet on the 100 people for sure.
But like when I say 100 people, I'm thinking of like random people, like they work in IT,
Like the average.
they work in HEB, like not Isaiah Stewart, like Shaq. Like I'm just talking about like they're mostly gonna be normal, not like the top 1% of biggest people.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's
I
fair.
feel like with 100, you're gonna have a mix of everybody.
It's all
so-
dependent, yeah. It's all
Yeah.
dependent on who you getting out there, I guess. That's funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question. Ooh, what's y'all's type in females? We can clip farm real quick.
Clip farm. Jebby, get him.
Hey, Jeb, we gotta put you on. It's time to get married, man.
Oh, chill.
time to get married.
That's why I was talking about living my life, bro.
Yeah.
No, but a type, but not. I guess like, basically what we're talking about, like having a good friendship, right? I want that same quality in like my girl. At the end of the day, like somebody that motivates me, keeps me in check, and somebody that brings something to the table, like something that, I mean, like I can like kind of like pouring into their cup. Like I want them to be able to pour into mine.
Yeah.
like the whole crab kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
Like I think if something I think that's something really important for them to like keep you motivated and keep you going, and you guys work together and build the best version of yourselves at the end of the day.
Okay.
And then them just being able to be my best friend, you know, like just being able to be yourself, be goofy, however you want to be. I think that's something that I would definitely value in a significant other for sure.
What about look wise? You want a brown girl? Or does it matter?
I mean, damn, all right.
They got me.
I mean, like, just being from our culture, though, it makes things easier. You know what I mean? But I've never been, like, closed off. Like, if I run into somebody and we just click like that, then I'm not going to be like, nah, but she's not brown.
But what is your type, though? Like, what's your number one? Brown girl?
I mean, like, that's what
like, what do you think looks the best? Who do you think looks the best? Like, what race? What type of qualities?
I think everybody's beautiful.
Who? Oh, everybody. All kinds of generic ass.
No, but I mean, like, I think I prefer a brown girl for sure, just because like the cultures would just mesh a lot better. You know what I mean? Like family values, all that. Not saying that every other cultures don't have that. Yeah. But like just based off of mine, like for them to join my family, like my parents, like my siblings, my cousins, all that. You know what I mean? I think that's something that I just prefer that. But that to say, like I'm not closed off. You know what I mean? So I prefer a brown girl, but at the end of the day, like I think it just depends. The situation, you know, whatever happens to while I'm like coming to my life, you know.
I think Packy girls are so cute.
Damn.
Like that's mine. Like light skinned brown girls. Like you can be a brown girl too, like an Indian, but like my type of skin tone. That's why like Packies are Arabs, because they got that like lighter skin tone, or like a Latina. I think like those brown skin girls are like my type for sure. Yeah.
What about you, Nathan?
I like them. Nah, I definitely.
So I like them all.
I definitely want a brown girl. Honestly, I don't really care about skin color, but you know, I want them to look good. I want them to be like a good person. You know, family. I mean, I feel like I just did this same podcast.
Yeah, you already went.
You already went. Yeah, bro.
You can't answer this, huh?
I can still answer. I mean,
you better describe her.
Yeah, no, I mean, like kind of what Jebby said though. I mean, like be able to find that friend in them. I think really goes a long way, because I mean, you want to feel comfortable around them at the end of the day. I mean, and you want to be able to, you know, spend your time with them too, and like not regret it. You know, so I think like being able to, you know, have that support system. Sometimes you're going through it, they're there for you. I mean, I think we all, you know, have our values that we like in a woman, but you know, ultimately, if you know, if we understand each other, I mean, I think, you know, that goes a long way.
Yeah,
you know? So,
understanding each other is huge, because there's, you know, relationships I had where like it was a good connection, but there was always like, we can't understand this, or we can't break this down, or like there could be like certain issues or trust issues, right? To where it's like it kind of ruins the connection, the trust. So all that stuff is really, really big. Trust,
is there any like characteristics that you think are like super important?
I want someone deep, like someone that can really like initiate good conversations, not someone that's surface level, you know. Because I talk to some girls where it's like, you know, it's not, the convos are never really deep, you know. We never really
like
talk about
TikTok
anything interesting. It's like, so I think that's something I value. You know, someone with a similar perspective as me, that's something, you know, pretty big to me, because, you know, I want to be able to talk about, you know, things that I enjoy and stuff like that. So, but real quick, hey, Alec, how much time we have?
We are on the 53-minute mark.
Oh, 53? Do y'all want to wrap it up? I got some disclaimers I want to say, but y'all want to get into anything else or not?
No, we're good.
So for the audience, I got some disclaimers. So with this episode, you know, we kind of winged it. I feel like, you know, we cooked a little bit. But so I'm trying to get some more canon episodes. Episodes like this is kind of filler. Like if I'm doing a Q&A, it's kind of like, you know, we're just asking questions and just, you know, winging a hangout. But, you know, it's hard for me to do canon episodes because I need, you know, people to do a topic with. So if you're interested, you know, let me know. Like I said, shoot a text, because I think last time I said this, but no one really ever hit me up. Well, I mean, some people did, but, you know, because like I said, my plan to have these canon episodes were, you know, I had people that were down. Like I said, they flaked. So now it's like, I'm having trouble producing content, because I had a plan. I had like 15 episodes deep. I had a real plan, but now it's like, everything got shook. So now it's like, I'm just shooting this episode to get content out there, but I need to like actually, you know, do some of that stuff soon. So if you're interested, hit me up. You know, you don't got to pay. I'll pay for everything. I just want content, right? Also, big guest coming soon. I'm trying to get into that. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I got the connects for it. But other than that, y'all wanna any closing statements? Anything?
No, I mean, I appreciate for having us on the podcast.
Yeah,
I mean, it's super cool to like hear all of our perspectives. I mean, the fact that we were able to just like link up, hang out like this, wing it. I mean, I think you know, I had a really good time.
Yeah, and shout out to Subin, bro, doing big things, bro.
Of course, thank you, bro.
Hey, taking the step, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
I feel like I seen you grow up a little bit.
Yeah,
So I think it's dope, bro.
No,
I think it's sick.
Because I remember like all of us, like we were pretty close, but I was always like the little kid, like because they're like 6-7 years older than me. So now it's like being able to hang with them in terms of like intelligence and great conversations is cool. Obviously I look at y'all like my big bros. We're gonna run back this next episode too. Let's get into basketball, but
let's get into it.
Other than that, peace. Episode 6, we're out.
Peace.
See y'all later.